So tonight I'm going to focus on tearing the body down. Front fender, back fender, fairing. But I already have the gas tank off, so I'm going to work on taking all the fuel sending stuff out of it. And the petcock valve at the bottom to get ready for that to get sanded and painted. Should be pretty easy. I've taken the fenders off this bike a million times. The fairing's going to be a little bit different because I have wired a switch in there for the Moon's light bar you can see right there. So I'm just going to have to disconnect that wire, loosen up the bolts that hold the handlebars in place, slide it out. Shouldn't be too bad. Let's get to it. Alright, the front fender, super easy. 4 bolts, 1/2 inch on the inside, and then it's a 1/4 inch hex on the outside. I'm just going to take my impact driver and zip all 4 of these out. Take 2 seconds. And voila! It's that easy. And now, just like everything else, I'm going to put these bolts back where they came from, just to avoid losing anything. Back fender is a little bit different, especially on this bike, because I did put ARP bolts in here, so it's 12-point bolts. And the reason for that is I just wanted to have, I'm a pretty heavy guy, I wanted to have some strong, reputable bolts holding my ass up on the fender, because a lot of the weight is on the fender here. There's 7/16 up here, and I want to say 3/8 right here. The ARP nuts on the inside are all 7/16. Same thing, just 6 of these, zip them out, and there you're gonna have to disconnect the wiring harness for the tail light. There's gonna be a little bit more, but I'll get into that later. Wire. There you go. The fairing. This is just the knockoff Crater $90 T-Sport fairing. It's a pretty decent fairing. I put the anti-buffeting kit on it because this thing had some terrible vibrations at highway speeds, some better grommets, a little bit better hardware, and I mounted it up under the 2 bolts that hold your handlebars in place on your triple tree instead of on the actual fork tubes. This being an 05 Super Glide, it did have the Sportster style eyebrow mount, that's what I've heard it called, headlight, where the headlight actually mounted to an aluminum brow piece that bolted to the top of the triple tree. So I actually had to drill through the bottom of the triple tree to install the Moon's headlight relocation bracket to get this T-Sport fairing to fit. Not a big deal. Wasn't that hard to do. It was more daunting of actually thinking about doing it than actually doing it. So this should be pretty easy to take off. I think it's like 3 bolts holding this thing in, maybe. See, all that'll come off. I gotta clean it up. As you can see, it's fucking covered in bugs. Yeah, I had a bit of a late night scoot across the lake and I got plastered with fucking bugs. So yeah, let's get this thing off. Super easy. There you go. That took all of 5 minutes. I am going to reconnect all this lighting and shit. I'd rather have it all reconnected by the chance of any of this falling and wires breaking or anything. Okay, gas can. The gas can is getting painted, so I am going to be taking all of this out. This is where the gas gauge was at, fuel level sensor. There's a breather hose here and the actual ring for the gas caps here. So I need to take this whole console out with a T20 Torx T-handle. And then the fuel feeder down here that goes to the petcock also needs to come out, and I'm not even sure how to go about doing that. We'll figure it out though. There is some minor rust that I've seen. I don't know if you better see this on camera, but down underneath here there is a little bit of rust. Up here there's a little bit. Looks like it's getting under the clear coat. So again, I'm still going to be sanding this whole thing down and reshooting it in black. Let's go ahead and get this bitch taken out. This whole thing should, you take out these, what is it, 8, 10, 12 bolts. This whole thing should come out with the fuel level, I guess, mechanism still attached. You just set it off to the side. Yeah, the fuel sending unit locks in onto the middle console on the inside with this. You just got to kind of lift up on this. There's a locking tab, as you can see, and this slides out with the whole fuel sending unit. And there you go. And this gasket gonna get replaced. You can see all the rust right here. That's also transferred over onto the gasket. So trash. I'm guessing just a crescent wrench will get in there and get that out of there. Let's try that. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that fuel filter right there. That thing is disgusting. Okay, so there's the petcock completely out with the filter. I'm going to change this filter and probably this O-ring. And then the last thing I got to do is just take these hose clamps off and take this last little bit of fuel hose out of here. Then the tank is completely done. Here's a good trick for you. You know that hose that I use to drain this thing? You can cut that and you can have a new fuel hose to go right here. Alright, getting everything else ready for paint. I'm going to take this rear fender all the way down. Got these few bits of hardware here, seat hardware, license plate mount, tail light, shit like that. So get all this off, clean it all up, get it ready for paint. Fender is torn down all the way. Taillight came off pretty easily. I just left the wire in there. No need to take that out. License plate came off, just these 3 bolts right here. And then of course the seat hardware, and there's a rubber grommet in here in one of the holes. I think this is supposed to be a ground for something, but it's never had anything connected to it. So that might just be for the EFI Dyna. I don't know. But if you ever find yourself in the situation where you have to take these little seat bolts out, super duper easy. Just get yourself a flathead screwdriver and push up against this lock washer. Let's see if I can get you to zoom in on this. There's that little ring right there. It's like a sear clip. Just push it out and this thing will pop straight through the bottom of the fender. All this seat hardware stuff I'm going to put in a Ziploc baggie. Marked fender hardware. Just so I know where it goes and I don't lose track of it. This fender is good to go. Ready to get prepped for paint. Yes. Now if you're wondering why I'm bothering to take all of my tins and fairing off for a big bore kit and a cam install, I will show you. A couple months ago I came across the guy on Instagram, and this guy makes some of the sickest decal kits for bikes. So I reached out to him. He sold me an entire set, front fender, back fender, T-Sport fairing, tank with new Harley decals in the tank, and battery and fuse box cover. So I'm going to show you real quick what I got for my bike, and this dude will work with you. He'll get exactly what you want on your bike. So let me give you a quick rundown of what I got. So these two here are the battery box. This is gold pinstripe. It's actually like gold metal pinstripe, maybe. But the gold matches my wheels pretty damn well. And I decided to throw the pentagram in there instead of the CVO style bar and shield. So that's for the battery box. This is for the fuse box. Again, super high quality, very detailed. Next is the T-Sport fairing. Now these kind of go like this on the, this would be, as you're sitting on the bike, the right side, the headlight will be here. And this would be the back of the fairing with the pentagram on the back side. And then it's the same thing on the other side. So those look fucking sick. And then the back fender, obviously it's really long because the back fender is pretty, it got a nice radius to it. It's gonna be same double gold pin all the way down at the very tail end of the fender, that gold pentagram. And then the front fender, same thing, except it actually swoops in on the back side of the front fender, goes all the way down to the pentagram on the front, almost like a hood emblem or something. And this is my favorite part, the tank decals. So this is the tank decal for the right side. Double gold pinstriping all the way around the side of the tank, and then it has this sort of old whiskey bottle style logo, Harley Davidson Motor Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Gold lettering with black background. And that is the reason I'm repainting my bike, because I want to put these decals on a fresh paint job. And then I want to have the ability to spray, you know, multiple coats of clear coat over them to preserve them for as long as I can. Because once all this engine stuff's done to this bike, it's going to be just about where I want performance-wise. And these decals and some fresh black paint is going to have it where I want it looks-wise. Alright, so that's going to do it for tearing the whole body down. Everything is real straightforward, super easy to do, just a few bolts here and there. I'm really excited to get into painting this thing. I've never actually painted any sort of vehicle before. The only thing I've ever really done is, you know, rattle can stuff. So this will be a learning experience for me for sure. Next week's video, I'm going to go over setting up my paint booth. I'm basically just going to hang some plastic sheeting from the ceiling. And then I'm also going to go over all the prep work. All the sanding, more sanding, taping. Gonna get this bike hopefully completely ready for paint. Maybe even start painting next week. And then everything I'm doing to get the my garage prepared and sort of quarantined per se to keep overspray out of everywhere else and all that. This whole body should be a, you know, a 3-4 part video series, hopefully not that long, but it's all going to be good relevant information if you're ever trying to do something like this on your own. Like I said, this will be the first time I've ever done it, so I'm kind of going in blind, so I'm always learning something. I got a lot of views on the last video, the startup video, almost the triple amount of the normal amount I get on videos, so that's good. And hopefully that momentum can keep coming. So yeah, still pumping out videos every Thursday, trying to get them to come out 6:30 Central Time. So yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends if they have motorcycles they're trying to get into working on. This could be a good place for them to start, who knows.